Thank you, John. So I plan to ask if there were any questions for Claude or Carsten first before we go back to John, because I think that's what our open debate is about. So if you have any questions for them, please go ahead.
Quería hacer unas preguntas a los compañeros de los trabajos de remediación, que igual en el libro que ha comentado aparecen, pero es simplemente, bueno, dar la enhorabuena por el trabajo y comentarles, se ha hablado de distintos límites, de distintos semáforos. Quisiera saber si pudiera ser, o está contenida en otro tipo de información, el límite que se puso para la dispersión del particulado en los trabajos de remediación. No sé si se me...
It was a heavy discussion between the authorities, so the French authorities and the Swiss authorities, and a lot of study were done, and specifically the Swiss authorities mandated an expert on that, and he found out that depending on the HEH, alpha, beta, and gamma, we about it's in the dust 150 nanogram per kilo to 350, depending on what it is. But I can find it out. I have it not now in the memory, but I can tell you how it is.
Yes, for the same gentleman, a question. On the site in Huningue, you worked with this big tents, so you installed the tents. What did you do with the tents after the remediation? Because I can imagine the inside was covered with dusts from the works itself. Could you clean it, or did you have to send it to the incinerator?
I think you cannot clean it. So what we did, so we tried to clean outside and as best as we could on the confinement, clearly. And so we then deconstructed everything piece by piece. It was then cut, it was then put in containers, and then it was incinerated, everything. By the way, all the vehicle which were in the confinement area couldn't be used afterwards. It's finished. Exactly. So we had to clean, to demount, to disinstall everything, and then it was really a mess. And by the way, I forgot to say this, the people who are working in the tent, it would be not a nice solution, because you have to find other ones. No. Okay. Now we have to congratulate the people who are working in such area. You see, when you have in summer 60 degrees and the people are working with all the protection and whatever, so they could work only 1 hour and then they have to pause a half hour and so on. But it's a mess what they have to do, really.
I have a question also for Mr. Claude. Well, it's well known in the field of environment or environmental management that in the mid-80s there was a big accident in Sandoz in Basel, and it affected the Rhine, and it caused fish mortality. And many things changed from this accident. This is one of the events which has marked the industry and environmental management as a whole. In this context, I'm sure you have faced difficulties when conducting your project. For example, when you propose delivering or transporting the contaminated soil along the river. I guess the authorities were very, very sensitive about that, and they asked for a lot of requirements. Can you maybe explain a little bit further which was the feeling and which are the difficulties you have faced?
Yeah, I think the event what you're talking was in '86, huh? And it was in Schweizerhalle, it's close to Basel, and it was in the agro business at that time. So we had Sando Agro and Sando Pharmaceutical and so on. But the point is, Novartis is a pharmaceutical company. So, and what is the objective of a pharmaceutical company? Normally, we should produce medicinal to extend the life. And based on that, without having the event on '86, based on that, it was sure that we cannot make any shortcut in the project. And this was the reason why, as soon as we had issues, we stopped the project, because we cannot, it's not allowed for a pharmaceutical company to do something which is wrong against the life of the people. And this was a big requirement, I would say. This was really driving the whole project. And this is why we want at the end to have something clean in residential. We took the more constrained scenario to remediate and so on. By the way, on the Rhine, you have a monitoring continuously. It's a little bit upper from Basel. It's in around camps who analyze on a daily basis what is in the Rhine. And once we had this dust went over to Switzerland, some of the dust went in the Rhine, and they discovered this immediately. So we were really controlled everywhere. By the way, for the control, we decided that it's not Novartis or the provider who is communicating, but the authorities. So the authorities themselves put in place some measurement that Novartis was paying, clearly, but they put some measurement and they communicated what they measured, that in order to be sure that the public can be have the comfort that it's the right, these are the right measurement. Yeah, exactly.